What's going on, guys? This is Joe, and I am back for some flashback-ish, I guess. Guilds of Ravnica pre-release pack openings. We did all 5 in one video way early on at pre-release for these things, but now we are here to do them individually and to do some deck techs for each and every one. So we've already done Boros and Dimir. We are now back to do Izzet. So let's set the other 4 aside. You can tell which ones we've done based on how glary they are on the camera. But let's move these. We will stay tuned for the Golgari and Selesnya, obviously. But this week we have Izzet. Ral Zarek is on the front. We do not know what is inside, but I have started it a little bit here. But that does not mean I don't have to tear into this thing. So here we go. Okay. And so we've got Inspiration, Experimentation, Innovation. And on the inside, first, we have the Izzet D20. I love it. It's so cool. This one is very good in comparison to some of the others are somewhat underwhelming. This one is very nice. We have this Goblin token, which had a code on the back of it, which now no longer works for Magic Arena, MTG Arena. So I'll just leave that on the side. We have the separator for the deck, so that you can separate your deck and sideboard. We have the packs, which we will get to in a moment, but let's zoom in. Oh, and we have this little insert thing that teaches you how to build a sealed deck. Okay, so now that we are zoomed in, everybody can see what's going on. We have our seeded pack, and inside of the seeded pack is our promo foil, rare or mythic. Let's see what we have this time. We have the boy, Niv Mizzet Parun. He is only a rare. He is triple blue, triple red, but he is a great card because, my god, that casting cost. So it better be worth it. But here we go. Let's open and see what else we have inside of this thing. Yeah, this seems like exactly what we want to do if we're making an Izzet deck, which with this seeded deck, it makes it a lot easier to do that, so we will definitely be looking to do that. We start with an Izzet Locket as well. Very nice, classic. Crackling Drake, so this is of the uncommon cycle, the AABB uncommon cycle. Also a fine card for Izzet. Very nice to have that. Chemister's Insight is also a great card. I will point out, these have been kind of sitting around for a while. These are warped. I don't know that you can see it. No, I guess you kind of can't. Trust me, they're warped. And not just this foil. Like, these non-foils are warped. It's not... that you might be able to see that curve there. Yeah, that's warped. They again, like I said, they've been sitting around for a while. We just opened them up, so... But yeah, we have a Chemister's Insight, also a great card with Jumpstart. A Book Devourer. Oh, okay. I don't know how I feel about this one, but it's an uncommon. We have a Piston Fist Cyclops. This is a fine card. A Wishcoin Crab. This is a great blocker. If you're going to be, you know, trying to get your instants and sorceries going, this is a fine blocker on the ground. 4 mana, 2/5. Not bad. We have a Direct Current. Very nice jumpstart, direct dealing or direct damage card. Maximize Velocity. I don't know how great this card is. It is 1 red mana, and it does have Jumpstart, so you can sometimes get your opponent by playing, like, Niv Mizzet, for example. And if you have, like, a random red mana left over, you can give him +1/+1, so he becomes a 6/6, and haste. So you just play Niv Mizzet, which they weren't expecting, and then you play an instant or sorcery, which, again... You know, there are things that he does when you play instants and sorceries, but then also he can attack as a 6/6 flyer with haste immediately. So the card's not bad for situations like that. There are not a ton of creatures that I can think of where that would be as explosive as Niv Mizzet. That is definitely Magical Christmas Land, but we shall see. Goblin Electromancer, an amazing card. I hope to open at least 1 or 2 more of these. A Muse Drake is also a great card. Drawing cards is nice, and it's a flyer. Radical Idea, drawing cards is nice. I just said it. And it's got Jumpstart. This is a great one so far. Fire Urchin is very nice. Getting pumped up by instants and sorceries is good. Just play a bunch of them in a turn. Very, very nice. Sonic Assault. I love the colors on this card. And it does... one of my favorite things in Magic, which is tapping one of your opponent's creatures. It lets you get in, which, to be fair, I mean, you're not really going to be attacking a ton with this deck, but if you need to get those last few points of damage in with, like, the Fire Urchin that we just opened. This is not a bad card. You tap their best or only blocker. You deal 2 damage to their controller, and you can swing in, hopefully, for lethal at that point. That'd be really nice. And Izzet Guildgate helps us cast our spells a little bit easier. Not bad at all. Our first pack, if we just jump into it, is the one with a Dimir agent on the front. On the inside, though, we start with a Luxodon Restorer. Turns out there are non-Izzet cards that we could possibly open. And then I'm contradicted immediately by the Dimir Informant. While it is Dimir, it is blue, and we could still play it. Rubble Belt Boar, same thing. This is a card that we could play in Izzet as well. Skyline Scout, a Dev Karen Dissident, a Direct Current again, very nice open, I like that. Iron Shell Beetle, Muse Drake again, very, very nice, going well so far. Gateway Plaza, it's a gate. I don't think we're going to find too many cards that will matter with gates because we're trying to, the luck of the draw with the gates at the end of each of these packs to see if, you know, the gate deck isn't as viable in sealed. So there's that. We have a, jeez. Thanks, cards just prove me entirely wrong. Here's a card that cares about gates. I don't think that we will be able to make that deck, but we'll keep our eyes open for it. Here is a Gatekeeper Gargoyle as our first uncommon. An Electrostatic Field as our second. That is great for an Izzet deck. Very nice. And a Dimir Spybug. This card is fantastic, not for an Izzet deck. Although it is possible to splash black, but I don't think we're going to need to. Although I do love this card so much. And our rare or mythic is a Narcomoeba. Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. This is more for Dimir, I feel like, because you're going to Surveil, put this thing in the graveyard, and then it comes back out. But it is also just a 2-mana 1/1 flyer, and it's in blue. If we're looking for a 23rd card, a 22nd card, this is not a bad include. And I think we have a foil, do we? We sure do. It is a foil Demotion, which, I mean, hey, I like this card. I like that foiling pattern. I like this card, obviously not for Izzet, but that's a cool, look at that art. I love that. Or the foiling, I should say. That's really nice on that helmet. Very, very prominent foiling. Really, really cool. Behind Demotion, another Izzet Guildgate. Very nice, still being proved wrong on my statement earlier. And an Insect Token. Look, you want to prove me wrong, I will make a Gates deck. This pack is already open. That's... okay, sure. I guess we'll go with that then. Ugh, okay. Well, anyway, we have inside of this pack, we have a Leapfrog to start, followed by a Fearless Halberdier, a Sworn Companions, Wary Okapi, Mood Mark Painter, I get that wrong like every time, Skyknight Legionnaire, a fine card for Boros, a Darkblade Agent, fine card for Dimir, Centaur Peacemaker, fine card for Selesnya, come on, a Whisper Agent, it could be played in our colors because it could be double blue, it's a hybrid. Capture Sphere, this I will definitely play. I would play as many copies of Capture Sphere as I opened, not close. Night Veil, oh my god, Night Veil Predator, what a sick card. Not for us, although we could splash, we talked about it earlier, but I mean, like, splashing becomes so annoying when you have Niv Mizzet in your deck, triple red, triple blue, and then you have double blue, double black and stuff like that is tough. That's a tough splash. Goblin Cratermaker is a fine card that we could include. You can get, you know, colorless non-land permanence is one thing, but dealing 2 damage to a creature, that's not nothing, and it's a 2/2 body for 2, which is nice. And a District Guide is our third uncommon, not really for us. This is for the Gates deck, which I doubt we're splashing into by any means. And our rare or mythic is a Legion War Boss. So again, this card is for Boros. Blatantly for Boros. It's got the symbol, it's got Mentor, which is their keyword, but it's in red. It is possible that we play this card. It is doubtful, but it is possible because this card is great. Behind the Legion War Boss, a Golgari Guildgate, and a Bird Illusion token. So yeah, I will keep, I will have to make some decisions once we're done with this kit fully. I'll have to make some decisions based on what else we see. But we have, in this Imara-based pack, we have a Wall of Mist. Again, talking about blockers on the ground to allow us to get to our instants and sorceries and stuff and kill them with burn damage and stuff. That's fine. Here's a Wojciech Bodyguard, another mono red card that we can play that has Mentor. Take Heart. Vicious Rumors. A Vigor Spore Worm. Golgari Locket. Command the Storm, very nice. 5 damage to target creature, but it's also an instant. So if we have cards that care about instants and sorceries, one, we can kill a creature, but also we can get some other incidental benefits. Plus, look at how mad Ral Zarek is. Look at him. He's super mad about it. We have a Mephitic Vapors, a Luminous Bonds, a Vernati Shieldmate, hybrid, but neither of them are our colors. Rock Charger is our first uncommon. Great card, not for us. Crackling Drake, a second one. Very, very nice. I like that quite a bit. So yeah, now we have 2 of those. That's fantastic. And a Circuitous Route. I love the art, and that's about it. Our rare or mythic in this pack is a Find Finality. Not for us, because neither of those colors are our colors. Come on, you can focus. Come on. There you go. So you have Find Finality as a Golgari split card, which again, we just almost certainly will not be playing, but there it is for all of you to look at, and a Dimir Guild Gate. Oh, sorry, I lied. And a Soldier token. I don't know why I forgot the token. This is also opened, this pack. Can you see? Yeah, there you go. Now you can see. This is also opened. You just go like that, and it opens. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's a thing that happened. Next, inside of this pack, we have a Ledev Guardian, a Disdainful Stroke. So I'm not a huge fan of counterspells personally. In Sealed, you really kind of get your opponent with it, and in an Izzet deck that cares about instants and sorceries, it's definitely something I will consider. We have a Barging Sergeant, another mono red with Mentor. Fine card. Severed Strands, Generous Stray, another Sky Knight Legionnaire. My God. A lot of Boros for us. Darkblade Agent again, and a Centaur Peacemaker again. Interesting. And, okay, I thought that was where the duplicates were going to end, but it was not. And there's a Capture Sphere. Yeah, okay. This is like the same middle of this pack as the other middle of the other pack, but hey, Capture Sphere is fine. I said I'd play them all. That's 2. I will definitely play 2. Golgari Raiders is our first uncommon. Whispering Snitch is the second. And a Disinformation Campaign is the third. Some nice Dimir towards the latter end of this pack. Disinformation Campaign, very good. And our rare or mythic is a Temple Garden. Sure. When I'm just making the deck tech for the videos and not to actually play in a pre-release, I don't care if I open these like value dual lands because I don't have to worry about, well, this isn't going in my deck, and so I gained value, but I'm not going to win this tournament. But in this situation, it's not the worst. And it's a shock land, so yeah, no complaints there. Behind Temple Garden, a Golgari Guild Gate and an Elf Knight token. We have 1 pack left. We've talked about some sweet Boros that we've opened. We've also opened some good Dimir, which is tempting because they both share a color with Izzet, so it is possible to splash, but like we mentioned with that Night Veil Predator, it would feel real bad to try. But inside of this Aurelia Boros pack, we have Take Heart. We have Radical Idea, very nice to have opened another one of these. Ornery Goblin, fine card, we could play it. Crushing Canopy, Barrier of Bones, another Command the Storm, interesting. I would consider the second one. I don't think it would be an auto-include because it is 5 mana, but it's an instant and you can kill almost any creature with it. Capture Sphere again, that's 3. Golgari Locket, a Maniacal Rage. So this is a lot more of a Boros card as well, but we could still play it if we have creatures that we think are aggressive enough. Like, I would not mind putting this on Niv Mizzet and just making him a 7/7 flying that can't block. We have a Hired Poisoner. Might of the Masses is our first uncommon and a nice card, not for this deck. A Glow Spore Shaman and a Sun Home Stalwart. Interesting. Nothing in us or for us in these uncommons. And our last rare or mythic is wow. It's a mythic in Divine Visitation. Again, double white, very hard to splash for. But it's a fine card. Plus, we're not really creating creature tokens, so I don't feel bad about not being able to play this. There aren't many cards that we have that would make tokens. So, but it's a great card. I'm glad I opened it. Same argument with the Temple Garden that I got. So behind Divine Visitation, we have another Izzet Guildgate. That's not nothing. And a Goblin token that you would get from this Legion War Boss here. So, guys, sure. We're going to make a deck. I will be back in a second after I've made that deck. We'll see you soon. So this very condensed looking pile is our deck. It's 23 cards. It is, I don't know how I feel about it yet, because, I mean, things like Crackling Drake, we have 2 of those. We have 2 Muse Drakes. We have the Leapfrog. So we have good flying coverage, obviously Niv Mizzet. And we have, like, Fire Urchin and Electrostatic Field. So we have cards that care about playing instants and sorceries. We have Goblin Electromancer. The problem is we don't have a lot of instants and sorceries. Because don't be fooled by this non-creature spell section, right? Command the Storm is a non-creature spell. Chemister's Insight is a non-creature spell. But there are 3 Capture Spheres here that are not instants and sorceries. Obviously, that's what I meant with these 2 as well. They're not instants and sorceries. Neither is this Izzet Locket. So we've got 2 Direct Currents and 2 Radical Ideas that have Jumpstart, and Chemister's Insight has Jumpstart as well. So that's one way to be casting our spells. And we have a second Command the Storm, but that's 5 mana. It's a little bit tough for me, I feel like, because the most that this Crackling Drake can be is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8, 4, which is great, don't get me wrong, but that means we will have had to draw and play all of our instants and sorceries for it to be that strong. I'm not so sure. Obviously, I neglected to play, or chose not to play, the Legion War Boss, which may or may not have been a mistake. I mean, it makes 1/1 goblins every turn that have to attack, so, but they're 1/1s, and if we're not really mentoring, because we didn't put any other mentor stuff in our deck, I don't really see how that is going to help us out very much. I would love your opinions on this deck in the comments down below. This is what I opened. Feel free to go back and check. We did have 2 Skynet Legionnaires, and we have the Legion War Boss, and things like that. So do we just try to make a Boros deck instead? Boros decks are great at being able to have no rares in their deck and still do super well, and we already have the Legion War Boss. So maybe Boros is just better because it's Guilds of Ravnica, and Boros is nice and fast for a sealed environment. Let me know what you think in the comments down below of the deck tech, of the opening, and I would love those opinions. From the Geek for All YouTube channel, I have been Joe, and as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.